All right, should we talk about how this all started, Jared? It was just
Okay,
mostly
sure.
you and me chatting about all these things anyway, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that people would want to listen to this. No, just kidding. Um,
Yeah.
well, and I don't know if anybody else out there is kind of like us, but we talk through ESPN pick'ems, and then Jared and I, so I don't know how much like context we need to give, but anyway. Because again, we're speaking to nobody at this point. And
Right,
um,
right.
but anyway, so we're just gonna go down the list for ESPN pick'ems, and we've been doing this how long, Jared?
Well, yeah, so it started 2008, the year I got married, and I think it was just kind of something fun to do. And actually, a friend showed it to me, and then I was like, oh, this would be fun with the family. And then we've been going since 2008, and it's been confidence picks the whole time too. We do Bowl Mania. We've done. I have a whole spreadsheet of everything we've
You only
done
have
and
one,
everything
or you
we've
have
won. I have three different files of spreadsheets. One to track the overall total, one to track very overall total for the family and just whatever. One that tracks every single person's picks, so I can see kind of maybe their trends.
one.
And then one specifically just for my strategy that I've come up with that has evolved over the years. It's the simplest it's maybe ever been now, but yeah, and Camille figured it out, I guess.
Yay, that was a last
Uh,
year triumph for Camille
yeah, so yeah,
after several years. Well,
yeah,
I'm curious. Okay, can you do a quick rundown of trophies? Do you happen to have
oh,
that? Maybe we'll
I
get to
do.
that later.
Yeah, give me a minute. I'll open that up.
So, and while he's opening it up, so we're a family of parents that had two girls and four boys. And so historically, we've always been pretty close and always very athletic. And over the years, I think an entry barrier of entry to our family, whether it be through, well, through marriage or birth, has been, yeah, at some point you're going to play ESPN Pick'em. I also think what's cool about it, Jared had this really cool trend of like every week he'd give an update, which started with sports, but then we always added like family things like, Camille got a dog or, whatever else. So the ESPN Pick'em like aspect of uniting our family has been really good. But over the years, it's gotten pretty competitive. And we've had some like based on having kids and all that kind of stuff, people joining and leaving and paying attention at variable intervals. So over the years, we've had random, not random, but inconsistent, but yet consistent
Hmm.
winners. So
Um, yep, and those award I would give awards every week, and then I would be, it turned into updates, and then last year I was the most I've missed the email, just
I
work was
know.
busy,
Same,
so it's
same.
tough. But if we're looking at the last 8 years, there's been three winners. It's either Camille, me, or Scott. Um, and I think Camille, you've won it 3 times.
Three. Okay.
Scott's won it
Probably the most.
four.
Scots are both.
And yes, and I've won it four as well. And then James has two, Laura has two, Lori has two, Andrew has one I forgot about.
Yeah.
So those are all the winners. So
Yeah. And we have some sleepers in our family that have been dying for a win for a long time. So for the past 2 years, I have been going over to my parents' house and like meeting with them every day to give them strategy. Now, my dad is very calculated accountant. So pitching all these random and like big strategies hasn't always paid off. But then again, I'm not perfect at it either. So it'll be interesting as this is mostly an experiment to see if anybody even cares, but like we care and we talk about this fairly frequently. So it's
yeah.
exciting because tomorrow's the kickoff. We've been waiting for this
Yay.
for a while. And you'll also notice over this like whole recording that we have some biases, and that's fair too. So
Which could be based on nothing.
they based on
So
the hair or the color of
yeah.
the jersey. We had somebody, didn't Lori win because the year Lori
Lori Lori won the first year, and
Based on like who what mascot
mas
is gonna win.
mascot colors, locations, nothing
Nothing.
scientific. But then she followed it up like what, 5 years later, winning again. Same strategy. So it's
Lori is Jared's wife.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Um.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
all right. So here we go. We're gonna walk down, and so in order to walk down all these lists, we had to pick some random child so that Jared and I don't expose our confidence levels on
that's
this.
right.
So, all right.
So
Get it
I'm
up, Jared.
picking my 3-year-old's picks as the one here. So we got Hawaii, Arizona first,
Okay.
and
I don't know.
people are picking it 97% Arizona, which Hawaii just beat Stanford, but Stanford's not that good.
Well, and I heard that
So
somebody actually on their team had an injury or potential injury that if it was big enough, Arizona. But then again,
they,
this
they
stuff. Go ahead.
oh, Arizona has their quarterback back who he was okay last year, but I think 2 years ago he was like awesome. So he's back, but I don't think there's high hopes out in Arizona this year. So
Well, Arizona's ranked probably pretty low in the Big 12, right? If I remember
yeah,
correctly. But Hawaii's coming and feeling pretty good off their win. Although I think what we're trying to figure out is Stanford the real, measure of success for
they're
Hawaii?
not.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go big no.
um,
So I think it's Arizona, but I actually don't think it's going to be as spread as people think it is. I
yeah,
really don't.
I could see it being closer. I wouldn't be shocked if Hawaii won, basically.
Yeah, me too.
Like
Yeah.
I don't think 97% is a fair assumption. Also, things I've learned over the years, voting is not like the people don't know the right answers,
Yeah. Well,
basically.
and that used to play into a lot of people's strategies back over the years because that was one of the only stats we got to see. But
Mhm.
some of the things that I think when I look at the matchup predictor, I mean, it's pretty relevant. It's pretty comparable. It's like 81, 87% Arizona. So, I mean, the stats are in Arizona's favor, but I think this is like first game of the year. So, first games of the year for all these teams, which I think this next week is going to be my favorite week to comment on because all it's going to be is like, okay, let's talk
Oh,
about
they
some
didn't look
stuff.
good. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And Hawaii, it's their second game.
Yeah.
So they're coming off a win. So
Yeah.
maybe they're coming in confident.
We'll
But
see.
I would give the edge
To
to
Arizona.
Arizona here. It's home at Arizona, I think.
It's probably
So
hot. I mean, Hawaii's hot
yeah,
too, but home
yeah,
field advantage on that for sure.
yeah. So
Cool. All right, next.
next one, UTEP, Utah State. 96% of people picking Utah State. I honestly don't have a lot of information on this one,
Well,
but
I don't really have any information on UTEP other than they randomly show up sometimes as like
mhm.
in ESPN Pick'em, and you're like, normally 97% of the time I always pick the team against UTEP. So
And Bronco Mendenhall's a new coach at Utah State. I do know that. So
wait, wait, wait,
that
wait,
could,
wait. Bronco Mendenhall's at Utah State?
pretty sure.
I feel
Yeah.
like
So
betrayal on lots of
it's
levels. Anyway.
but it's new. So he's coming. He's a great coach, but it's also a first game, all new. But I don't know enough about UTEP, and I don't know enough about Utah State. But I'd probably go with Utah State on this one.
I go with
So
Utah State too, just in general.
yeah.
By the way, it should be said, I live in Utah right now. Jared lives in Arizona, which is hence his
Oh yeah.
cactus shirt. And
Sure.
um, yeah, and we're BYU fans just by bias, but so Bronco Mendenhall used to be, the coach. So
Yep.
ouch. All right, next one.
Georgia Southern, Fresno State. Fresno State lost to Kansas last week. I
Yeah,
watched a little of that game actually, and I mean, Kansas won convincingly,
yeah.
but not
Not,
complete slaughter
yeah.
either.
It kept it
So,
respectable.
and Georgia Southern, again, don't know a lot about them, but I'd still probably go with Fresno State. I think they rebound here
The odds
on that
makers
one.
have Georgia Southern. So that's what's
Really?
interesting on that one.
That is
So is that aren't they part of
50-50.
they're part of the USA, right? If I remember correctly, I can't remember.
I don't
But there
remember.
was a year, like maybe it was last, no, 2 years ago, that I feel like alternative conferences were showing up pretty big in ESPN Pick'em, which was kind of bothering most of us because we just don't have information, can't watch the games. But I do remember Georgia Southern being one that was should be contended with. But I agree with you, Jared, because I watched a bit of the Fresno State game and I thought in the very beginning I was like, uh-oh, for Kansas,
Yeah, I
you
thought
know?
that too.
And
Yeah.
so
Um, I
yeah,
didn't realize how close it was. And this game's a great example because the people voted Fresno State 82%.
because it's what they
The
know though, I
Yeah,
think.
but and that's kind of what we're doing. But I also think Georgia Southern's coming across the country, all the way to Fresno State, I think, for this game. So that plays into it, I think, as well, but maybe not as much as you might think. But anyway,
And
I think
Fresno
it's
State's a little bruised, and so I'm sure they're going to want to slaughter somebody just for the fun of it.
yeah. I think who's the quarterback? Warner, Kurt Warner's son, I think, is the quarterback there. So if
Okay.
that means anything to you, we'll
Not yet. Maybe
yeah,
some.
not
Yeah.
yet. Next one, Cal, Oregon State.
Uh,
This one, I just don't know. Like, I don't know enough about Cal. I don't know enough about Oregon State.
how's
The
in the ACC, right?
Yes,
Which is another, oh my
which
gosh,
is just
let's not
stupid.
talk about that. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, the predictor is saying Cal. The odds are saying the Beavers. So I
Predictor's
really,
saying Cal. Oh, that's right. Wait,
I
no, it's not. Wait, sorry. Oh, predictor. Sorry, I thought you were talking percentage of what people picked. Oh yeah, they are saying Cal.
no, and it's in Oregon. I don't know. This
I,
would be my
I
toss up. I don't know
this is
game.
where my bias is coming in. I interviewed at Oregon State, and so I'm in higher ed. That's my profession. So
There you go.
I have to favor the Beavers because I've seen their stadium, and they were very kind to me while I was there. So that's my
All
bias.
right, go Beavers. I did
Beavers.
a fourth grade report on beavers, and it's been my favorite animal, one of my favorite animals ever since. So
Yeah.
that's a reason to pick the beavers as well.
Okay. Next.
Notre Dame, Miami, one of the
Ooh.
bigger games of the weekend, and this is on Sunday.
Oh, it is.
Um,
Oh,
yep.
interesting. Sometimes they do that. Yeah, for sure.
And it's pretty even, this one. The predictor, the spread isn't too much. Most people are picking Notre Dame. I think what it was last year, right? Was it? No. Last year Miami had a good year, or was that Florida State that had a rough year? Florida State had the rough year last year.
Yeah, Miami had
My
a good year because remember they have Cam New or who they have.
Ward. That's
Tim
right.
Ward. Yeah, exactly. But they lost him. Um, is this the one
Yeah,
where wait, hold on, if I remember correctly. So no, yeah, because Florida's the one that has DJ. So this is the one where isn't Carson Beck at Miami right now?
right. He went down there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I have a lot to say about like I don't know because Carson's like finally I have a working offense the way I want it to and I was like really
You're
Georgia
at
wasn't enough
Georgia.
for you? Are you kidding? So I'd be curious to see how this one plays out and I think I'd probably favor the Hurricanes even I don't know Notre Dame is pretty good but I also feel this is my personal feeling on Notre Dame. They are overrated every single year at the very beginning of the year. Like top 10, really? I mean, show me a year in the past 20 years they haven't been rated in the top 10. And that's what I almost go like, I don't know, if there's any overrated, and again, it goes back, I like Notre Dame, but I just feel like they're definitely among that category. I do think Miami is one to watch because of Carson Beck, but I don't know, because he's also a transplant that has a bit of an ego, so I don't know.
We'll call this the overrated game
Yes,
because I
yes,
think
that's
Notre Dame is there. Now, granted, they made it to the championship game,
yeah,
but historically, it's just like expectation and reality for Notre Dame is always
yeah.
whatever. And
Yeah.
same with Miami. I feel like every year
Yep.
it's like Miami's back.
We're gonna
Miami's
do it.
back. And it's
Yeah.
like,
At least
eh,
one Florida team is inflated at some point during the year.
yep.
So I think I don't know. I think out of the two who has more credibility to with their overinflation, I'm leaning towards Miami, but I would
Oh,
be surprised if Notre Dame won.
see,
So
I'm going the other way with the inflation just based on Notre Dame being
consistency.
in the championship game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with like, okay, as much as it's like you're always overhyped, I'll go with Notre Dame this time. Miami, I feel like they had that one really controversial call like game last year that was like it got overturned. They lost and then they overturned it and then they won. And there were just so many like scraping by. I think that was them. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I'm
And you,
kind of like, I think at least Notre Dame. got deep into the playoff, and that's the nice thing about the playoff now with more teams is before it's like when you had the four or the two in the BCS, it's like you never really knew for sure. But
Oh,
like last year, Notre Dame and Penn State like proved to me all year. I'm like they're not as good, not as good, and then they made deep runs. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, you kind of proved it
yeah.
here now.
So
So
maybe you're saying that they might deserve their overinflation
yeah, I think they're more deserving of the overinflation in this
in
game
Miami. Okay.
than Miami. That's my thought.
We'll
But
see. I think this will be an interesting one, but I will give Notre Dame props. I actually think they belong in the top 25 this year during the preseason rankings. So way to go.
way to go, Notre Dame.
Way to
Pat
go.
on the back.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, preseason pick rankings, I hate them. We'll
I
just
hate
throw
them
that
with
out
a
there.
passion. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, all I've been listening to are people that say the exact same thing all the time. And
Hmm.
all it is around Texas and Ohio State and
Yeah.
maybe Clemson making a big run. And I was like, what? Just because Dabo Swinney doesn't go to the portal? I was like, okay. So I feel like they
Yeah.
don't talk about enough teams. And so I'm just like, I don't know, whatever with that. Okay, keep
Yeah.
going.
All right. Northwestern Tulane. Northwestern hasn't been good in a bit, I feel like. And Tulane is in a four-way quarterback battle, I
Are they
think.
oh, that's right. Our former.
Three or four. Yeah. So I'd lean Tulane on this just because I'm like, no, and if anyone's just like, well, Northwestern plays in the Big Ten, yeah, the bottom of the Big Ten is not good. Even the middle, you could
Yeah.
say.
Go ask
So,
Vanderbilt about that. Yeah, and see what they well, anyway, Vanderbilt's good. But no, I agree with you. And also too, the only thing is like over the last Tulane's been on ESPN Pick'em a lot over the last 2 years. And I feel like most of the time that I pick them, they've been justifiably picked. So I feel like they have a sustainable program. One of the reasons they have a quarterback battle to this extent is probably because they have some good ones. And as BYU fans, we lost our quarterback to Tulane. So I'm partial to want to cheer for them because we had a great year last year, thanks to what's his name again?
Jake Ritza.
Jake. That's right.
Um, yeah,
I
I
forget. I want to
think
call him the BY Jew. Like
I think he changed it to Tulane.
Tulane.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
there we go. Okay.
yeah. So we'll see. Tulane, go for it. Win.
Yeah, at this one, this is a bit of a coin flip for me. I mean, I hope, I mean, this is one to rank low, y'all. I think. But then again, it's hard because all of these are a bit of a coin flip, and
Yep.
there's a couple more that I think are going to be tighter.
ESPN knows what they're doing when they pick these games.
Yeah, last year, congrats ESPN for picking probably the biggest and hardest games to pick in
They
general.
did
And
do a
I'm
good
just like,
job.
okay, where do you have confidence for that?
Feel like at the beginning when we did this, it was like there were good three that you knew
Three
were
that
going
were
to win.
at
And
least, if
then,
not five. Yeah,
yeah, and we had high scores. Like I have that tracked. We would get someone would get a perfect score from 2009 to 2015, and then we didn't have a perfect score for 3 years. And
that's
since
where
then,
big
we've
data
had
kicked in.
one season with a perfect score since then. And I think that's a credit to either ESPN picking hard games or us not knowing what we're doing.
Or
Uh,
or their data monsters picking the hard games.
yeah.
Because man, yeah, I agree. I feel like there was always everybody always got their 10, 9, and 8, but then
Mhm.
everything else was a bit of a so this year it's just like if we get past 30, it's a great week.
Yeah. Yeah. 40s are good. High 40s is
High
really
40s
good.
is
You get
like
into the 50s, it's like, yeah, you did
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Um, all
Okay.
right. So, yeah. Next one is LSU Clemson, probably one of the premier games.
Ooh, this is going to be a tough one, I think.
And I just don't know enough about it. Like, I feel like Clemson is still riding the coattails of their recent
Yeah,
championships.
I agree.
While they've been good, like I think the last 2 years haven't been great.
So I feel like they used to be like the Ohio State of the ACC, right? And that it was a credit to Dabo Swinney. But I agree with you because I'm like Clemson, you want to pick them every year, but last year was fairly disappointing every time
Mhm.
I picked them. And I also think too, I mean, Dabo Swinney like brags about the fact that he doesn't go to the portal. Which I think could have its benefits and drawbacks. And some people are like, "Oh, that's awesome. He's building a really substantial program." And I was like, I don't know." And then there's LSU, where I feel like last year was like high hopes failed,
Yeah.
but they maintained most of their players, or a big chunk of them. Their quarterback is back, right? I
I
can't
don't
remember his name.
remember.
I watched I watched the
Yeah.
ES or the SEC yeah, every Saturday, or what is it?
Oh
Every
yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah. And they
I haven't
talked about
watched
the
it.
LSU quarterback there. And you'll realize I'm terrible at remembering names for the most part. But I remember thinking about them being like, they could be on the rise. They're one to watch. But the problem with the SEC is they have lots of people in the middle, like, we could be on the rise. And if you have people that just
Everyone's on the
clobber,
rise.
then it doesn't matter.
Everyone's on the rise in the SEC.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't know. I did see something talking about Brian Kelly, LSU's coach, how, where he goes, it just kind of goes to mediocrity. Like that's kind of where he was at Notre Dame. Like they kind of were good, but not great, and they just couldn't get over the hump. And LSU's kind of, I
Well, it
don't know.
wasn't last year his job in jeopardy, and then at the very end of the season they made some good they
They
had some
did
good
had
games.
a little run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't it's at Clemson.
I think Clemson takes it.
I think Clemson has a lot of hype, but I'm leaning towards them as well.
I wouldn't be surprised though if LSU
Yeah.
pulled it off. So this is a low rank, like a low number confidence ranking for me.
These are teams that are hyped up based on recruits a lot of the times. We'll get to some others, but it's like we're ranked high because look at our recruiting class. It's like, okay, well, you got to
Those
do it
people
on the
aren't going to
field
play for another couple
too.
of years. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
All right. Next, Utah, UCLA. I just
Ouch.
have a hard time ever picking Utah. So,
This is
but
where the strategy has to take over, and my strategy picks Utah.
this is also an interesting one though, because I
Yeah.
think the UCLA quarterback came from Tennessee. He was the one that demanded, or they say demanded money, and
Oh, what? Really?
then they Tennessee said no, and then he won like 4 million or something like that, and then they're like, no, we're not going to do it, and then he landed at UCLA. So like he's a good quarterback, um, and Utah is breaking in a brand new quarterback, a brand new offense.
Brand new
Um,
everything, kind of. Yeah.
Everyone's always like, Kyle Whittingham's such a great coach, though, and I was like, yeah, but
And
he
most
hasn't been
coaches in their later
getting
years, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
like I get he's a good coach. I give him that. He's been great. But I also think people who say that are still riding the coattails of the Rose Bowl. Like they
Yep.
haven't been there in a couple of years. They haven't done
Yep.
great. Look at last year. And I think people are like, well, it's going to bounce back. It's like, yeah, but they were bad last year.
And
And maybe not bad, but they
they're
didn't
losing
win.
they're losing recruit battles to BYU and other colleges as well. So it's funny how much, okay, yeah, I struggle picking them too, but my strategy does. And I was at the Rose Bowl when they played because I had a friend that went and I was living in California. So that was fun for a second to wear red.
Yeah.
But I also think UCLA, okay, let's say they have this quarterback that's all prima donna and everything. Let's even say he delivers. Do they have the rest of the team to pull together? Like
I
UCLA,
don't know.
I feel like where have they been in football for the last 20, no, not even 20, I'd say 10 years. Where have they been? And the
I
same thing kind of with USC. Every year is like, ah, no. And I worked at
yeah.
USC. Every year is like, after 3 games, if USC doesn't win, then it's over. The season is over, scrapped, and we're trying again. And so, like, yeah,
I'm
I don't know.
I'd be interested to see if like UCLA and Utah, not Utah, UCLA and USC kind of take the road of Nebraska, where in the late 90s, 2000s, Nebraska
Huh,
was killing it.
killing
And
it.
then they went to the Big Ten and they haven't been relevant in
Sense.
a
Where were they
decade or
before? The
more.
Big 12?
Big 12.
Uh,
Uh, and they went to the Big Ten and nothing. So now USC, UCLA are in the Big Ten. And do they kind of go by the wayside? Also, other separate theory on the whole recruiting battle is like, yeah, SEC, Big Ten, two best conferences, great. If the recruits get recruited to the top teams, maybe they're like, yeah, I'm happy. But I think the Big 12, ACC can make a pitch
yep.
to be like, hey, don't go play for Nebraska. Come to Oklahoma
But
State
you
or
might
something
go to an actual
where
play.
you have a chance to
Yeah.
get into the college football playoff. Because if you go to Big Ten, guess who's going?
We
Michigan,
already know.
Ohio State,
Yeah.
the
Penn
same old,
State.
and same with the SEC. So
Mhm.
I think that's an interesting pitch. Like
Well,
I
and
almost think there's going to be more of a disparity in those leagues.
yeah, I hope that Big 12 never loses its parity because that's what makes it. I've become a Big 12 fan ever since BYU joined, but like there needs to be some conferences that have parity that make it exciting to watch the conference
Yeah.
playoff game. Yeah.
Well, think of the NFL or MLB, any pro league. Like you want parity.
Yes.
It gets exhausting when it's the same teams over and over. But that's kind of what we have in college football. And I think, yeah, the big teams are happy, but you're going to lose interest of other teams
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
they don't have a chance.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so on this one, yeah, we'll go Utah on that because there's too
Okay.
many.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unknowns on either side, I think. But
I
at
think
least,
UCLA historically has always failed to deliver in the last couple years, so I'd be
and
surprised.
while Utah's offense struggled all last year, their defense
Their
was still
defense is good.
pretty good,
Yeah, their defense
and
is
I think they'll still have a good defense, and they
good.
got some big boys up front on offense, so we'll give it to them.
All right.
All right, two more. Texas, Ohio State.
Hmm.
I had a friend at work. He's a big Horns Longhorns fan.
Oh, okay.
Anytime I talked to him, I was just like, "So yeah, your BYU, your former BYU quarterback coach, Steve Sarkisian is leading those Longhorns." So I always preface it with that. So
And he's like,
he
okay, maybe I'll be
he
friendly.
gets a kick out of it now. It's at Ohio State.
Yeah, and Ohio State. Okay, Jared, just expose your bias because obviously there is one, and I'll expose.
Any fan I've ever met of Ohio State has made me like Ohio State less and less. Like it's just even my doctor, my primary care doctor, is an Ohio State fan. He doesn't know I don't like them. I just found it out because he had a sticker or something. And he's there, and I'm at my appointment a few months ago, and I'm like, "Hey, so Ohio State, how do you think they're going to be?" He's like, "Oh, it's going to probably be a down year. We lost a lot of talent. We lost our coordinators and everything." And their down year is third on the AP poll. Like,
Oh, they're not
where?
first or second. Well,
Anyway, I also think they're overhyped. But also they've won last year, so I don't know.
well, we'll see. I think it's crazy to have a championship playoff game for the first game of the season. I mean, honestly, that's kind of what this is.
Yeah.
But so my bias is that I used to work with a girl that went to Ohio State and her husband is a huge Ohio State fan. Shout out to Molly and Josh. But they will relay messages through me to Jared because they're just like, I have something to say about being an Ohio State fan. So I have to love Ohio State. They wanted me to come to the Penn State game at Ohio State, and
Cool.
that'll be fun. But okay, all props and given to Ohio State on this, but I actually think Texas will probably take it. And I think
Archie Manning, Steve
Archie
Sarkisian at
Manning,
the
Sark,
helm.
I just I don't know. And normally, okay, outside of the last 2 years, Jared and I have strong opinions about Texas being overrated in the preseason in general. I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, and under delivering. But last year, I was like, credit deserved, all right, we'll
The
give it to them.
first year in the SEC, they
Yeah,
did a
they
good job,
did
but
better than I thought they'd do.
yeah. So
So
we'll see. I mean, maybe all the hype is up and they lay an egg. Or I do think it'll be tough at Ohio State, even with
I agree.
Ohio State prepping for a down season. Um,
Well, and this is them with both teams with probably no injuries at this point. So
mhm.
it'd be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. I think doesn't aren't both team no, not Texas no, but I thought Ohio State had a quarterback battle for a
Oh, I don't remember.
but
Yeah,
anyway, so yeah, this I'm going to be excited to watch it. I don't
this will
know.
be a good one.
This
I
one I always rank it like a 1. Now, if you need extra points, here's a pro tip on ESPN Pick'em. If you know basically your whole family is going to put somebody at a 1 and you want to take a gamble, go with the one that's the underdog and put it at a 10. I mean, I'd say 40% of the time
this
that pays
is
off.
if that.
If
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, this is a good game. I'm excited. It's 9 a.m. my time, which is great. I just wake up and
Yeah, gotta love
ready to go.
the West
Although
Coast.
I'll be up early because there's kids around. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, this will be. I think this is the game of the week.
I think
Um,
so too.
yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
I don't think anyone else has had that breaking news. This is the game of the week.
Yeah, I'll give it to him.
We probably should have ended on that one, but we got
I
one
know.
more.
Okay.
Virginia Tech, South Carolina.
I,
I'm
yeah, go
think
ahead.
oh, I'm going South Carolina. I don't
Me too.
think.
Well, Virginia Tech, I mean, historically over the years, unless they're going through a rebuild, isn't so what's interesting about this is that Virginia Tech was the dad of the current South Carolina coach, if I remember correctly. Isn't that
Oh, I don't
and
know.
so in past years, Virginia Tech was actually good and competitive was his dad, and then he went to South Carolina. If I remember watching the SEC Netflix documentary correctly, but I last year I kept even saying like South Carolina is one to watch. Like they kind of kept coming in these big
Yeah.
moments in the SEC as like a destroying team that would like
Hmm.
and I think they're the one that caused several of the big losses for some of those big teams. Wasn't Texas A&M somebody who fell to South Carolina at
I
some
forget, but yeah, I do remember them kind of, yeah, messing
they
things
shook
up.
it up, which is
Yeah.
always fun to watch. And I always cheer for teams like that in the SEC because I just am like parody,
Yeah.
parody.
So my thing with this matchup, when I was applying to MBA schools, Virginia Tech accepted me. So there's always a soft
Oh,
spot. Lori will pick them religiously because of that. And there are times like this game that I'll just be like, I know we're loyal, but you might want to change your pick. And this is one of those, I will always be a Virginia Tech fan because they did accept me to the program. I didn't go there. I went to Mizzou, but
but respect for
um,
that, right? Yeah.
yeah, I definitely have a soft spot for Virginia Tech. But yeah, going with South Carolina on this one
Yeah.
for the win.
That's going to be a rough one for Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
So
I wish I just go back to the Virginia Tech Mike Vick years. Like those were fun years for Virginia Tech. It'd be fun if they got back. Beamer ball, that was good times.
But I also want to just comment on the fact that South Carolina is ranked number 13. Like I actually, to be honest, I think this plays into like the way I felt about Coach Sanders with the with Colorado when he started, where it's like I kind of want to buy into the hype. I kind of see South Carolina doing some damage. Because I feel like they've been doing enough damage that if they've kept that structure and only built on it, um,
Yeah.
they could be doing pretty well this season. So I think they're an SEC team to watch. I actually agree
This is a good reason why preseason polls are crap because
with that.
did South Carolina build on it or did they
Or did they
not?
lose
Like
it?
we don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
Yeah.
but they're starting at 13, so they're put they're given an advantage just because of where
Yeah.
they started, which shouldn't mean anything. Like it should be who you're playing and everything. Like anyway, but
Yeah.
that's just my thought. I think this is one of those where it's just like the rankings meaningless here. Like, what does it mean? We don't know.
Well,
Anyway,
it will be an interesting day tomorrow and Sunday, apparently.
yeah,
Um,
one on Sunday. Yeah.
all right.
So
Well, this was fun.
good stuff. Hope this helped everybody.
What?
Perfect pick. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a
I know,
perfect
right?
week.
We gave you a bunch of nonsense information, but
There you go.
ultimately, I think maybe next time we can talk strategies that we've used over the years that could be helpful. But to
Mm,
be honest, there's no strategy going into the preseason. Preseason is just
Oh,
mostly just pick the ones that everybody else picks or at least the analysts pick because nobody knows better, right?
I would say the first 3 or 4 weeks are like that
Yeah.
because you got cupcake games,
Yeah.
you don't know. You just don't know. And I don't think rankings should come out. Like, I'm glad the college football playoff doesn't do it till later, but
Mhm.
I would say even the AP, it's like wait 3 weeks, wait four
Give
weeks
people a chance to
because
prove themselves.
no one, yeah,
Nobody deserves that.
yeah,
Yeah.
no one's proven. We don't know. The transfer portal throws everything in the air now.
Mhm.
So it's, yeah,
I I hope it's going to be so like what I like about preseason games, which isn't always common, is if there's a lot of upsets. Typically in a preseason like first week, there's probably maybe one, two if you're lucky. But the last couple of years, I feel like preseason was pretty interesting. So I'm excited about tomorrow. I'd be surprised if a lot of these teams had upsets that we picked, but I think also there's a lot of they chose games that were going to be close on purpose. So
yeah.
most of these games could probably go either way. So it
Or it can be a complete. blowout and we don't know what the heck is
Yeah.
going on.
So
Yeah.
that's, yeah, listen to us or don't listen to us, but I guess there you go, right?
Yep. All
Awesome.
right.
Till next
Sending
week.
this out.
Okay,
Till
bye.
then.
See ya.
Bye.